all these different guys. I knew them all. And I was at free fall school during the incident with Morgan the Trail, Mark Trail's twin brother.
Yeah.
And I got the information before Morgan did about the op. Happened the last day of free fall school. So we're getting ready to graduate, and I went to tell Morgan what happened, and Morgan knew his brother wasn't dead. No one else knew if he was dead or alive. But Morgan knew he wasn't.
Just because he was a twin, he could feel it.
Yeah, he could feel it. So 4 days later, I got a call from Morgan saying they found Marcus alive. And I was like, shit, man, that's crazy. So a few months later, it was still haunting me a little bit. And I was like, you know what, I got to find something to do. So at this time, I was much bigger. I was into bodybuilding, and my cardiovascular activity was the elliptical trainer for 20 minutes every Sunday was my cardio. So me and this guy named Josh Pickendova got off on this crazy workout routine of volume, lots of repetitions, lots of push-ups, lots of sit-ups, lots of leg presses, but no running. And so anyway, I heard about it, Googled the 10 hardest races in the world, and what came up was this race called the Badwater 135.
I've heard of it, yeah.
135-mile run through Death Valley, 130 degrees.
To the top of Mount Whitney, isn't it? Or something
It's to the portal.
To the portal, okay.
The portal of Mount Whitney. Starts from the lowest part of the Western Hemisphere to the portal of Mount Whitney. And so I found a great foundation, Special Operations Warrior Foundation.
Right.
I said, you know what, I'm going to raise money for these guys. But I didn't know that this race was a one-day race. I thought it was a stage. I mean,
was it just for completion?
Yeah, that's shit. I mean, 135 miles, you probably get 2 weeks to do this, whatever. So I'd only run 20 miles was my longest run ever. And this year, I just got back from Iraq, went to free fall school. I hadn't done any running at all. And so called up Chris Kosman, the race director of Badwater, and he said to qualify for my race, I'll come up on a Wednesday. He said to to qualify for my race, you got to run 100 miles in 24 hours or less. And I was like, is that even fucking possible? I was like, this is crazy, man. I didn't know about this world. So he said, there's a race. He goes, you got to qualify. He goes, but there's only 2 races left pretty much. It was that race and another race called the Hurt 100 in Hawaii. One of the hardest trail races in the world, which I knew nothing about that world at all. So the first race was on Saturday. Come up on Wednesdays, Saturday. And it's called the San Diego One Day, where you run around the 1 mile track for 24 hours.
Good God.
To see how many miles you can get.
Yeah.
I was a big time knucklehead, and I don't know if you know Joe Burns or not.
I know Joe well, yeah.
So it was a Friday before, it was 3 days after I called Chris Kosman up. Joe Burns in the gym working out. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm going to get hard. Joe put me through all 3 of my hell weeks. He was the daggone lead instructor. So I said, I'm going to go get hard with Joe Burns. He was into doing heavy squats, deadlifts, power cleans, just a grand animal workout. And I'm going to run 100 miles the very next day, okay? So I go in there unknowing, just team guy shit. I'm going there and just lift some weights. Went there, lifted a hard day. Next morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm out on this track with a blue lawn chair, Mileplex, and Ritz crackers. That's my nutritional plan for 24 hours of running.
Right.
So the first 50 miles were fine. Not too bad.
Yeah. How long did that take you?
You know what? I'm not for sure how long it took, but it took me 12 hours to do 70 miles.
Okay.
I do know that.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good clip.
Yeah.
Especially for not a runner.
Yeah.
I was well tapered, obviously. But this next 30 miles is with Hell Week, Ranger School, all this. Nothing will ever. The learning experience I got from mile 70 to mile 101, because that's what I ended up getting, changed my life forever. I thought I had gone through all these different crucibles in my life, and I thought I was at the pinnacle of mental toughness, as they call it, mental toughness, whatever. Mental toughness is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not a class.
Yeah.
So I was here, and I thought, man, I'm way up here mental toughness wise. My mindset's great. Mile 70, I sat down in this chair, and my nutrition was so bad. My plan was so messed up. I sat down, and I literally had to go to the bathroom so bad. I hadn't gone to the bathroom in 12 hours. And that Ritz cracker was basically a Ritz cracker ball, because without the proper water and stuff. I mean, I was just jacked up. So I sat there, and at the time I was married, and I couldn't stand up, and I couldn't go to the bathroom. I basically sat there and took a shit on myself, started peeing blood. And my ex-wife used to be, I don't know if she's or not, I don't know what she's doing now, but she was a nurse. And I was in bad shape. But I hadn't really gone to the bathroom that bad yet. Not like I did afterwards, but I was pretty bad.
It's TMI, right?
Yeah, I was pretty bad. But the thing was, I couldn't get up. My mind was all messed up. But one thing I realized that kills most people in any kind of training in life, this life period, is we get so anxious. Mm-hmm. And in that 1 or 2 or 3 seconds,
You seize up.
I call it the 1 second decision. Yeah. You seize up, but you flood the compartment, which is your brain, of all this shit. The what ifs. Oh my God, you spaz out, and then you quit, and then once you quit, you regret it. Happens all the time in Hell Week.
Yeah.
130 hours. You get in the first hour, they freeze your ass off, and you can't comprehend 130 hours of this shit. You're freezing. You're not going to go home that night. You're not going to Island Pasta to get the pasta meal that night. Your ass is mine, and you can't handle it. So I started just learning these processes of calming my brain down. I'm in the worst shape of my entire life. I've gone 70 miles. I've never gone past 20 miles. I'm horrible. It's a great rewarding feeling, but it's also a feeling of the worst pain I've had in my life. My feet are broken. I'm messed up bad, and I had to take this big pile of shit and slowly start to compartmentalize what was in front of me. And the first thing was, you can't stand up. Your blood pressure's messed up, so you can't go another 30 miles unless you be able to stand up. Fix that. Got around those issues. I was able to stand up, got on the track again, and I was barely making it on the track. And then this is what changed my life to this day. I can't really imagine anything ever topping it. At mile 81, my ex-wife looked at me and she said, "You're not going to, we're not going to make this time," because I was going like a 30-some minute miles, barely getting around the track. The shape I was in at mile 70 was the worst shape of my life. I can't say it enough. I ended up running I ran 101 miles. I ran the next 20 miles. Didn't walk another step. And I did it in like 18 hours and 56 minutes. And what I believe happened to me is when my mind, body, spirit, everything, for the first time, and it's never happened again since that time, everything really connected. When my mind knew he's not going to quit this race.
You have to do this. This
Yes.
isn't, non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. I gave myself no way out. My mind said, we have to find more.
Do you think, we talk a lot about spiritual strength as a reserve, as a, like tapping into life force, energy that can flow into you to support your efforts. So you've gone beyond just gutting it out, gone beyond what your physical body could possibly do. So
I went way beyond
did you
that.
feel that energy was that sort of energy?
And I try not to go there a lot with it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. It was something that I can't even. My mind knew we had to find this guy's not going to stop.
Right.
And it wasn't like I willed myself to the finish line.
Right.
I ran 20 miles when I couldn't walk a quarter mile hardly.
Right.
But I ran
Isn't that
20.
crazy?
Yeah. And I can't. People, what? Yeah, that's what happened.
There's no explanation.
That's
for
what
it.
happened.
Right. It just happened.
And it was.
It's kind of like saying, well, how did that woman pick up the car off her son? She just lifted a freaking.
She's lifted it up.
4,000. How did that happen?
And that's
There's
when
no
I realized
explanation
the human mind is the most amazing thing ever.
That's insane. I love that.